Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I really hope you're all doing okay and having a great day and an amazing week. My name is Effie and today we are doing makeup and mythology. We are telling the story of Medusa. We are using the Kaleidoscopic Dreams palette, and just a trigger warning, this does have sexual assault in the story, so if that is triggering for you, please skip this video. But if not, I really hope you enjoy it. If you do, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you like my content. Everything I used on my face will be linked down in the description box. But other than that, I will stop talking and let you get into the video. I really hope you enjoy it. Okay, so the story of Medusa. Now, as usual with these Greek stories, there are many different versions that differ on small details. So I will let you know now that some stories say that she was born a monster, whereas others don't, and I'm going to tell you the story where she's not born a monster because it's way more interesting. So, to start with, she is the daughter of the sea gods Phorcys, I think I'm pronouncing that right, and Ceto, again, I think I'm pronouncing it right, I have no idea. All three of Medusa's sisters were born monsters, however she was born a beautiful maiden. And she was incredibly beautiful, and her most prominent feature that was the most beautiful of all was her hair. She's described in a couple of stories of having beautiful curly blonde hair, and that was what drew everyone to her, and it's even described in one version as being the most wonderful of her charms. And as she was so beautiful, she attracted the attention of a lot of men, and one of the people that she attracted the attention of was Poseidon himself. Now, Poseidon is the god of the sea. And not only is he one of the main 12 gods, he's actually one of the top 3 gods. Now the top 3 gods are Zeus, Poseidon and Hades, and they are all brothers. And really they're the 3 more than any of the others that you don't want to annoy or anger. I mean, all the gods can be pretty spiteful. I feel like we've seen that quite often in these stories, but Zeus, Hades and Poseidon have loads of power, and originally when they took over from their father, which is a completely different story that I won't go into here, they divided up the earth into Zeus's domain, Poseidon's domain and Hades' domain. So Hades got the underworld, Poseidon got the ocean, and Zeus got the land and the sky. But yeah, Poseidon is the god of the sea, and he's very powerful, and he is attracted to Medusa. And one day, while Medusa is praying in the temple of Athena, Poseidon approaches her. And trigger warning, there's a bit of sexual assault in the next bit of the story, so if you don't want to hear it, just skip ahead a couple of minutes. But Poseidon approaches Medusa in the temple of Athena and sort of tries it on. And Medusa says no, she's not interested. Athena, I think, is a virgin goddess. But either way, Medusa said no to Poseidon, and Poseidon didn't like that, so he had sex with her anyway. The gods are not great, okay? That's just something you need to learn. The gods are not great. Don't take them as role models. Now, as this happened in the temple of Athena, Athena was incredibly angry. And, you know, why be mad at Poseidon when you can be mad at Medusa? So Athena does a ton of victim blaming, which is ridiculous, and she decides to punish Medusa. And the gods tend to be quite inventive with their punishments a lot of the time, where they tend to take the person's biggest strength and use it against them. So in Medusa's case, her biggest strength was the fact that she had this gorgeous, gorgeous hair, So Medusa decided to turn her gorgeous hair into coils of serpents. And just to add insult to injury, she made it so that anybody who would look at Medusa would immediately be turned to stone. Now, this is a creature that already existed within Greek mythology. It's known as a gorgon. Gorgons are female creatures within Greek mythology. They are all slightly different, but they tend to have very similar characteristics. They all tend to have the hair of venomous snakes and the ability to turn people into stone. And traditionally in Greek mythology there are 3 gorgons, one of them being Medusa. The only difference being that the other 2 gorgons are immortal and Medusa is not. And despite their appearances, because they all tend to be quite terrifying, some of them have fangs and boar-like teeth. Despite that, they are actually a symbol of protection, and their image tends to be displayed on shields and buildings and other things like that as a sign of protection against evil. So there we go, Athena decided to punish Medusa by turning her into a gorgon. Now there is another version where the same thing happened, but instead of it being a punishment, this is Athena's way of protecting Medusa against the advances from men. And I think that's a much nicer version, but knowing the Greek gods, she probably was using it as a punishment because they tend to be quite cruel. Athena is now a gorgon and she just sort of carries on living her life until Athena decides to step in again and make it even worse. Important to note that Athena was very proud of the punishment that she gave to Medusa, so much so that she actually had the breastplate of her armour, she had the image of Medusa's face on it, and it was there to instill fear into her enemies. Now another thing to note about gorgons is it is said that their blood can cure any disease, so much so that it can bring somebody back from the dead, or almost dead. But this is only if the blood is taken from the right side of the body. Because if you take blood from the left side of the body, well, that's a poison and it will kill you instantly. Fun, right? And so Athena goes on to live her life as a gorgon. I think she sort of leaves society. Obviously she can't really be around people because if they look at her she'll turn them to stone. So she goes off and lives alone. Now, as sad as that is, everything is kind of going okay until Athena decides to step in once again. So there are 2 versions of this story as well. Now this is the story of Perseus. Now Perseus is a demigod, and in one version Athena sent him, and in another version Polydectes, I'm sorry that is definitely pronounced wrong, but in the other version Polydectes sent Perseus. Either way, Perseus was sent on a quest to retrieve the head of Medusa. Now we are going to stick to the version where Athena sent him because A, I can pronounce her name, and B, it kind of has a bit more detail and a bit more sense to it than the other version. In the version where Athena sends him, Perseus is actually on a quest to rescue a princess from the Kraken. Now, a Kraken is a mythical creature. It is a giant sea creature, and it is said that a Kraken is so large and so dangerous and deadly that the earth was actually created to be its prison cell. So it's so big that they needed to create the whole earth just to contain it. And Perseus is trying to rescue a princess who is being held captive by the Kraken. This is where Athena steps in. So Athena tells Perseus that the only way to defeat the Kraken is to use the head of Medusa and to use her petrifying gaze on the Kraken, turn the Kraken to stone, get the princess. Ta-da, job done, princess saved, Medusa dead. And so Perseus is like, cool, great plan, I love that idea, it sounds like it's gonna work. Small issue, how do I get the head of Medusa? I can't just walk up to her and decapitate her because, you know, she'll turn me to stone. So how am I meant to get close enough to her to kill her? And well, Athena has thought about that too. It's almost as if Athena has thought about killing Medusa before. And she tells Perseus that all he needs to do is use his shield. Now his shield is mirrored, so all he needs to do is hold up his shield, look into the mirror at the reflection of Medusa while she's asleep, sneak up, kill her, take her head, don't look at it, all's good. And that is how Perseus went on to kill Medusa. He took his mirrored shield, he waited until Medusa was asleep, and he used his shield to look at the reflection of Medusa. He got up close to her and he killed her, and he took her head. I'm assuming he defeated the Kraken. I have no idea, I've never heard the story of Perseus. But yeah, he went and carried on with his merry quest, and Athena was happy because Medusa was dead. However, that's not quite the end of the story. It is said that when Perseus decapitated Medusa, 2 drops of her blood fell to the floor. And from this blood came 2 creatures, one of which we've heard of before, not in my videos, but you've probably heard of before, is the creature of Pegasus. And Pegasus is a winged horse. If you've ever seen Disney's Hercules, then Pegasus is in that. And I have had a request to do the real story of Hercules, so I will be doing that soon, so don't worry, I will do that story. It's quite an interesting one, so if you're interested in hearing that one, feel free to subscribe. But the other creature that came out of Medusa's blood was a winged boar, which does have a name, and I will try to pronounce it, but I promise you I'm pronouncing it wrong. Chiarasaur. And it is believed that these 2 creatures are the unborn children of Poseidon and Medusa that were created when Poseidon raped her. And it is said that once Perseus used the head of Medusa to defeat his enemies, he actually gave the head to Athena. And Athena displays the head of Medusa on her shield. And that is the story of Medusa, although I don't see it as the true end of Medusa, because, in case you didn't know, the imagery of Medusa has been used throughout history. It is often used as a symbol to show safety and to show protection, often for women. And it's often to show that places will protect women. And I know that in some cultures the imagery of Medusa's head is put above doors of places like bars and inns and places like that, to show that women are safe to go there if they need protection. Personally, I think that is amazing. I know that Medusa had a relatively bad life. She was first of all attacked by Poseidon, and then she was punished for being attacked by Poseidon. And even if you look at the story of Athena choosing this punishment to protect Medusa, it still doesn't explain why she told Perseus how to kill her. So I don't think Athena was on Medusa's side at all. But I think it's good that she went from such a horrible story to being a symbol of protection and hope for women in the future. Also, I know it's a terrible punishment to have your hair turned into snakes and be able to turn people to stone, but I think that's pretty cool. I mean, I wish I could turn people to stone. I think particularly in today's culture, snakes are sort of seen as a symbol of almost like strength, because they have that ability to protect themselves. A lot of people now are getting like snake tattoos and things like that, and I personally quite like snakes, so if I had snakes for hair I'd probably love it. But I just think it's so good that this symbol is turning into such a good symbol. And I think it's quite an empowering symbol for a lot of women, so I really appreciate that too. And my battery is flashing at me, so I better hurry up and finish this video. So there we go, that is the story of Medusa. This is a story that I feel like was told to me very differently as a child. I think when I was younger it was more the story of Athena didn't like Medusa, so she turned her hair into snakes, instead of the story where Poseidon is an a-hole. So I quite like the story. Well, the story itself isn't that great, but the ending and the outcome we have now, where Medusa is a symbol of power and strength and safety for women, I like that ending. This is the look I've created. I used a couple of new products. Everything will be linked down in the description box. For my eyes, I did use the Kalediscopic Dreams palette by Makeup Obsession and Illuminati. I love this palette so much. I love this look. It's very orange. I was feeling orange today. So yeah, let me know what you think of the story. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you like my content, please consider subscribing. I do a lot of makeup related content, and my makeup and mythology videos come out every 3 to 4 weeks. So if you're interested in that, please subscribe, and there is a playlist of all the videos I've done so far, so feel free to check that out. But other than that, I hope you have a great day, and I will see you next Wednesday for a non-mythology related video. Bye.